Welcome to the Black Wealth Creator Podcast, where we help uplift the Black community through financial education. Welcome back to the podcast. Yo, listen, on today's episode, I want to talk to y'all about fees. A while back, I talked to you about over how banks make money and how they make money from fees and stuff like that. And I was just like, I hate fees. I really, really hate fees because it's just like normally it's something that we did that we can stop and avoid the fee, or it's just some mismanagement or whatever it is on our end. But anyway, look, I was doing some research on data visualization. So this is just something that I'm interested in, something I thought was pretty cool. So look it up on your own time. It's not really anything based upon financial or anything. But I was looking at data visualization. And so in the visualization, the dude showed this visual. And it blew my mind because it was something about money, of course. But the data's from 11 years ago. Oh my God, 2011 was 11 years ago. But it's from 11 years ago, and it was saying that the causes, and I'll put it up on the screen here. It was saying that the causes of financial loss in the United States in 2011, it had overdraft fees, $30.8 billion. That means Americans paid $30.8 billion in overdraft fees, which we would consider financial loss because it's just money that it's not buying anything. It's not consuming. It's not like a consumer product or anything like that. It's just money that's lost to the bank, of course. And then it had $4.8 billion in burglary. So it's like people got robbed and they lost $4.8 billion. People pay overdraft fees for... What's that, man? Almost 6 times more than when they got robbed. So it's like, are banks really robbing us? I mean, that's something to think about. That's for a different story. I mean, technically we signed the agreement, so we technically robbing ourselves. But anyway, it got me to thinking so let's talk about fees. Let's talk about, I found this article, the top 5 bank fees, what they are, and then of course, how to avoid these fees, because 30.8 billion with a B, billion dollars. That's just too much money to be thrown away at banks and all the fees and stuff like that. So let's jump through these 5 fees. Fee number 1, ATM fee. So ATM fee is like when you're using an ATM that is out of your network. So if you're with Wells Fargo, you go to a Wells Fargo ATM, they don't charge you anything, of course. But if you go to a Bank of America ATM, or that ATM that just randomly in that gas station and you're out of town and you really got it, yeah, they're going to charge you. And they charge you $3 to $4 on the front end, because that's what the ATM's going to charge you. And then $3 to $4 on the back end, because that's what your bank's going to charge you for an out of network ATM fee. And so in the article, it was saying it does not see these fees going away. Like certain fees, you might be like, oh, yeah, that got to be going out of style. It's not going away because people don't use ATMs that much. So they're just trying to make as much money as they can off ATMs. That fee might even increase for all we know, so it's like, because they will increase a fee, throw it in all this paperwork, you can send to it, just trying to get to get to whatever you're trying to get to. And you're like, oh yeah, whatever. Next thing you know, it's like $6. So it's, so the reason this fee is not going anywhere, and the reason they're trying to make so much money off of it, is because of things like Cash App, Venmo, Zelle. Those types of things are really taking the place of ATMs, where you don't have to run and get actual cash. You can just, oh yeah, I Cash App you, boom, it comes straight out of my account. So I don't really have that need for ATM. But ATM fees are number 1. And then how do we avoid those fees? Of course, try and find and I think most banking apps will tell you where's the closest ATM and stuff like that if you put it in there. So you can do that, to avoid that fee. If you're really in a rush, like at Walmart or something like that, you can just buy buy an apple, buy a banana, I was trying to go like a candy bar at first, and I was like, let's be healthy. So just buy an item. Let's buy a bottle of water or something and just get cash back. Do beware, at places like Dollar General and stuff like that, they might charge you. But even if you accept the charge, it's gonna be cheaper than that $6 normally. I think it's probably like $1, if that. That they might charge you for getting cash back. But but that's still gonna be cheaper than you going to like some outside ATM. So ATM fees, number one. Number two, maintenance fees. So maintenance fees, really just like maintaining your account, quote unquote, maintaining your account. It's really just a fee to keep an account open. And in the article it was talking about like realistically banks have made like almost $1 billion a month off of bank fees, like off of maintenance fees. It's just like, whoa, what? But it's just like, cause and we'll talk about when we talk about avoiding it, but it's just people aren't reaching that threshold and they get charged. I got a business account and I just don't get a lot of traffic through it. I don't get a lot of traffic in there. So it's just like I get charged every month just about $10 just to have a business account. I like having it because I have my just have certain things tied to it. So I kind of like having it, but I'm just like, man, $10 a month. So and that's just recently that they start charging me. So I'm just been looking like, man, how can I really avoid this fee? And so the main thing for maintenance fees, the way to avoid them is going to be satisfying whatever their conditions are. So sometimes it's a minimum balance that you might have to keep. Maybe they're like, well, you got to keep $1,000 in here and we won't charge you a maintenance fee. Or it's a minimum amount of purchases or transactions. So it's like, all right, you make 10 purchases. Because that's how my card was set up at first. It was just like, you make 10 purchases, there won't be any charges. And I used to do that with my debit card. I used to swipe, and so maybe I should go back and look at that because I just haven't been swiping lately because I thought that went away. So me personally, I gotta go look at my banking stuff so to make sure that I'm not getting charged that $10. But so it could be a number of transactions, and then finally it could be direct deposit. So if you have a direct deposit amount, so like on my personal checking account, if I direct deposit a certain value each month, then they won't charge me a maintenance fee. So maintenance fees, number two. Number three, overdraft fees. Yo, listen, Linda, listen. Yo, listen, overdraft fees, I despise them because first of all, I don't understand why they are so expensive. Yo, listen, overdraft fees normally are $35. And it's not just $35 owe you out of like the bank just like, okay, you over. So you owe us $35. Everything else over just gonna be part of that $135. No. It don't work like that. It's $35 per transaction. And in the article they was talking about how banks would kind of do some sketchy stuff, and I know a lot of banks have gotten in trouble for this. But let's say you had so the way overdraft fees work. Let's imagine we had $40 in the bank, right? And this is where our banks were getting in trouble. Let's say you had $40 in the bank and you made 4 transactions. You did a $5 transaction, you did a $10 transaction, you did a $15 transaction, and then you did a $25 transaction because you forgot about the first two, the 5 and the 10. You just remember that, oh yeah, I made that $15 transaction. I should just got 40 in the bank. I should be able to make this $25 transaction. So what banks were doing, and the order that it came in was 5, 10, 15, 25. What banks were doing, they were saying, okay, because I work in the processing company, so they're probably just doing largest to smallest or whatever. That's really got it at the end of the night because you get that's a different story. But anyway, they got that so they would send through they would send the 25 through first, even though it wasn't first. They'll send the 25 through first. So now your available is 15. Okay. They would look, Then what they could do is send in the 5 and the 10, boom, and they only got you for one overdraft fee of the $15. No. That's not what banks were doing. Banks would say 25 in, boom, you got 15 available. Oh, you got 3 transactions, one's 15. Oh, let's send that through. Oh, it fits perfectly. Boom, put the $15 in there. So now the next 2 transactions, boom, overdraft. So you got the 5 and the 10 being overdraft, $35 each. Like $35 total. That's why I say I really don't like overdraft fees. But overdraft just means that you mismanage your money and you spent more than what you actually had in the bank. So in that situation we were talking about, you spent an extra $15. If you had $45, but you spent $55, and so you get hit with an overdraft fee. And so, like I said, it's $35 per transaction. That's overdraft. That hits the account once it's overdrafted. So it's like if you're overdrafted by 1 penny, every transaction that comes in after that, whether it's 1 transaction or 10 transactions, each one of those transactions are going to get hit with a $35 charge. So if it's 10 transactions, because you're 1 penny over and you don't rectify it by the end of the night, that's a different story. Or that's just something that I noticed, and that might be bank specific. But I don't think it is, but it could be, depending on how the bank is set up. But if you don't clear it by the end of the night, you're 1 cent over, 10 transactions come through, boop, 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 boop. You were swiping. You thought you thought your check hit, but it actually hits the next day because it's a holiday, XYZ. Boom, you swipe, 10 transactions come in, $350. When your check hit, you're going to be $350 that you give into the bank. So yeah, that's how that overdraft fee had $30.8 billion. That's how it happened. So how do we avoid this fee? How do we avoid this overdraft fee? First of all, you can opt out of the overdraft process. So banks normally, if you swipe, banks will just clear it. They're going to like, oh yeah, he has an account with us. It has some money in there. Let it go through. Or if he has an account with us, I think it gotta have some money in there. It got some money in there, so they let it go through. And then that's when they hit you with the overdraft fee later on. But the way you can avoid the fee is to, hey, at the beginning of when you open your account, I don't want to do overdraft. Like, don't allow me for overdraft. So when you go to swipe your card, they would just decline it at the POS, point of sale device. So they would just decline it there. So you can opt out of it. But sometimes it'll still, you can still get hit with charges. So be careful with this, because you can still get hit with charges if you got like automatic payments that come out each month. Like you got your Netflix that come out each month, or your Hulu account comes out each month. So that's automatically approved, and it's automatically going to go through. Like it won't be able to be declined because you've already set up that HCH, that transaction. So you could do that. Just opt out of it altogether. Opt out of, being able to do that. You could link another account to the account that you like, a savings account or something like that you always keep like an extra $100 in, an extra $50 in. So no matter how far over you went, you can always just pull from that. Beware that most banks are going to still hit you with a fee. It just won't be $35. It might be $12 to $15, but it won't be that $35 hit. But you're also going to cover yourself. So you just you can do that. And then ultimately, and the best way to avoid this fee is just to be better with your money. Like, be better with your tracking of your swipes and tracking of how much money you actually have available. Check your mobile apps. I've done that. I do that every night before I go to bed. Not that I'm just like, oh my God, living so close to the red, but I'm just like, I never know what's going to come out. I make large purchases because of my small business. So I might make a $200 purchase. I might make a $300 purchase just of shirts or products or whatever I may need. So I always just make sure I check at the end of the night, like, okay, everything that I thought should clear has cleared, and my available balance is good to go. So just be aware of that. And so that's just gonna be the best way to stay on top of your money, stay on top of your tracking, and of course listen to podcasts like this where you're getting that financial education. I'm just throwing it out there, shameless plug. I'm just throwing it out there, So the Black Wealth Creator Podcast, it's gonna help you. So real quick, the next two, so they're pretty quick and pretty self-explanatory. So fee number 4, paper statement fee. Fee number 4, paper statement fee. This just means that you didn't opt to get a paperless statement. So banks are always looking to save money. They don't want to mail you out a 5-page statement every month. They got to pay for postal. They got to pay for envelopes and all that stuff. They don't want to do all that. So they're going to hit you with a fee. Maybe, I don't know, $3 fee or whatever. And they're going to hit you with that fee. And every month they're just hitting you with that fee just to send you your statement. You can easily avoid this by just signing up for paperless. Like, all right, I want the paperless statement. And if you got a printer and stuff like that, you print it out on your own. If you're a hard copy type of person. So, and then the last fee that was on this site that's kind of like the most popular was inactivity fee. And all that is just mean because that just means that your account hasn't been active in like the last 30, 60, 90 days, whatever that bank has that fee tied to. If you haven't had any deposits, haven't had any card swipes, haven't had any activity on there, then they're going to charge you a $10 to $20 fee. And you might be like, what? Why? Well, banks actually have regulatory standards and stuff that they have to uphold to. And so if there's an inactive account on their end, sometimes you may have like overdraft fees and stuff like that they could have charged you. But because you've been inactive so long, they have to charge that account off. It's just a long process where they have to go back and subtract all the fees that they gave you in order to charge your account off properly and all this stuff. So it's a lot of headache for them. So they just like, okay, after 30 days, after 14, I don't know, after 15, after 30 days, we're going to hit you with this inactivity fee. Hopefully this inactivity fee will make you like, oh yeah, I forgot about that account. And you can start back repaying it or start back using it. So how do we avoid this inactivity fee? So one, you can just like keep putting like, you can have like an automatic deposit. I don't know, it could be $5 from your check, 5% of your check, 1% of your check, whatever you want to do. $5 coming from your check every month, just going to that account. If you want to keep and hold on to that account. Ultimately, you could just close the account. I mean, they're so easy to open. Also, I've never closed a bank account, so I'm not sure how hard it is to close them. So I apologize for that, but I think they should be easy to open, easy to close. So if you're getting hit with an inactivity fee, it's not an account that you really want to use, pay the fee off, because they can still charge you and stuff like that. So pay the fee, close the account, and then you should be good to go. So as I said in the introduction, I despise fees. I mean, they're just, because normally it's on us. Like, it's just wasted money. Like I said, $4.8 billion were stolen from people last year. $30.8 billion. You could say it was stolen, but $30.8 billion was given away to the banks. So let's just be smarter, be wiser, and be better with our finances and our fees. So this has been another episode of the Black Wealth Creator Podcast, where we help uplift the Black community through financial education. Listen, getting money is easy, but building wealth takes time and effort. Anybody can do it, especially you. Be blessed.